Today, in our second video, we are going to be braiding our strips of fabric together. What I've done is, you can see I have a bunch of different strips because I need that amount of strips to get my 50 inches of length. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take just 3 of them and I'm going to stack them on top of each other, and then I'm going to actually stitch the tops together so that they will stay together and make it a lot easier for your braiding. So what I suggest you do is actually kind of do 2 like this, and then take the last one and put it on top and in the middle. That's just going to make it a little bit easier to braid once you start, rather than just stacking them right on top of each other. And then all you have to do, your stitching doesn't have to be real fancy. I just have a needle with some thread on it. I did a double thickness and I tied a knot in the end. And all I'm going to do is just go in and out through the fabric, just so that it's all stitched together. So I'm doing pretty small stitches, but as I said, they don't have to be real fancy. They're going to be hidden by the time we create our project anyway. Now I'm sure some of you are familiar with braiding. This can just be a little bit of a refresher if you haven't braided in a while. And I know some of you have not done any braiding because you probably don't have to. So in that case, this will be a new skill that you'll be able to utilize. Having some trouble with my threads looping. There we go. One more little stitch. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of go under some of the fabric just to create that loop that we're familiar with for tying off our thread. And then just wrap the thread around the needle, pull those loops down. And then you can trim your thread. All right, now we are ready to braid. So I do have it laid out on some white paper just so it's a little easier for you to see rather than on the countertop. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have it a little bit above my white just so that I can tape my top to the counter so it's not going to move. Okay? And what I'm going to be doing is I'm basically, with braiding, you're going to be working with the pieces that are on the outside, whatever color that is, okay? They're going to be rotating along. So, but you always want to be moving the ones that are on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this yellow one, and I'm just going to go over the orange one and have it go between the orange and the green. So now I have the green and the orange on the outside, and the yellow is in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the orange one, or the green one, and I'm going to put it over the yellow one so that it is between the yellow and the orange. And then I'm going to take the orange and go over the green. Now with this project, you want to have it pretty tight. So I'm going to pull on my pieces as I go. And that t-shirt, I am using the t-shirt material, so it will stretch a little bit. So you kind of want to pull it so that it's not able to stretch anymore. And as you can see, I'm working with the outside pieces and rotating from the right to the left, to the right to the left. So I did my green from the right over the yellow to the middle. Then I'm going to do the orange over the green from the left to the middle. And then right to the middle and left to the middle. right, left, right, left. And you can just kind of pull those pieces out from the tangle, okay? As you braid, a lot of times what'll happen is it'll kind of get tangled up down at the bottom. You just want to pull those pieces out so that they're not tangled up. Okay, if you want to do every one, that's fine. You can smooth it out every time. Okay, if you haven't done any braiding, you can always lay them all out so you can figure out which one you have to do next. So I'm going to do it pretty quickly right now so that I can get down to the bottom to show you an easy way to add your pieces if you don't have pieces that are 50 inches long. So we're pretty much going to add those pieces kind of like you would with French braiding, where you would just be adding an extra piece. So when I get close to the bottom, you want to have about 2 or 3 inches left over at the bottom before so that you can add your next one. All right, so my green one is pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to take my new green piece and I'm just going to overlap with the other one. And then I'm going to put my orange one around to kind of lock it in place. And I can go back with my yellow. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be braiding with both of those green pieces until the end, until you reach the end of the old one. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an orange one. And I'll go across. And I'll use my yellow to cross over. And I'll cross over with my green. And I'll cross over with my orange. And I think I'm going to add my yellow one now. So you do want to leave a little bit of a tail when you overlap it. After you braid a bunch of times, you should be able to trim that a little closer so it's not sticking out so much, but you want to leave that tail for a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to cross over with both my greens here over the yellow, orange over the greens, yellows over the orange. Okay, it might be a little thicker in that little spot, but that's okay. You kind of roll it up a little bit so that it is a little thinner. All right, now I've pretty much reached the end of my green, so I'm just going to keep going, just using that new green piece. Same with my orange. I reached my end, and I can just keep going with that new piece. All right, what I can do, as you work, you certainly can take that tape up. You can slide your fabric down and re-tape it so that it's not so close up against you. And then you can continue. All right, and then what I'll do is I will add one more of each of my colors, and then I will stack the ends up similar to how I did on the other end. And I will sew those together as well. And then that is going to be put together in our third video, in our third assignment, into our drink coaster. All right. So what I'd like you to do is make sure you get all of your braiding completed so that when we have the third installment of this project, you will be able to continue on. Please make sure that you are continuing to check in for attendance and doing all of your assignments. Hope to see you soon. Bye.